And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
All right. Here we are, Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. That is the goal of our show. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host, Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty. This is Intelligent Talk Radio, and I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Let's go around the horn now, make our introductions. Mario Larrea, he's a mortgage expert here in Tampa Bay. And welcome back in, Mario.
Hey, great to be here. Glad it's finally starting to cool down a little bit. It's been nice here lately.
It really is, man. I love it. Get this year round, be nice. Yeah,
I've been able to open the windows at home and stuff. I always love this time of year. But I'll be talking today a little bit about kind of market conditions, what's going on nationally as far as appreciation levels and, you know, some solutions that we might have coming up for the low inventory that we've been experiencing. So a lot of good stuff here.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, you look at the market, we're going to dive a little deeper into some seasonally appropriate advice too, things at this time of year, what we need to do, especially since we've got Carol in studio. Welcome in, Carol Harop, Alexander Financial. Welcome in.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm going to be talking a bit about how bookkeeping can help you save money, it can save you time, and it can give you peace of mind. So if it's all in order, it's much easier for you.
That's right. Bookkeeping is an important part of running a business. You know, I've been to Tony Robbins' Business Mastery course a couple of times, and just went to the UPW this past weekend in West Palm Beach, the Unleash the Power Within. And I remember one of the great speakers he had at the Business Mastery was a gentleman by the name of, what was his name? Neil. He talked about a financial scoreboard. You know, he related it, which I love, you know, as the real estate quarterback here, right? I'm talking about football and kind of having that metaphor, but he talked about, you know, how can you know where you're going to be going, where you're at in your business if you don't have that financial scoreboard? You know, you don't know if it's the fourth quarter and you've got 2 minutes left and you got to really make a push, or if you're in a good position and you can kind of, you know, have extra bonuses or whatever it might be. So that financial scoreboard. So we talk about that as well. And you're representing Jake Alexander Financial, longtime friend of the program here, and not a CPA. It's a little bit different. I found out about this. You guys are actually enrolled
agent.
Enrolled agent. Yeah. So the enrolled agent there, so it's in all 50 states. So it's, in my opinion, it's better than a CPA even, because you're enrolled in all 50 states to be able to handle IRS tax implications throughout all 50 states here in the beautiful United States of America here. So we've got some interesting stories we're going to discuss as well. We got 10 years after the crash. The boom times are back in real estate, but a different way. So we're going to talk about that with Mario Larrea, and we have our Name That Tune coming up as well. We got 5 cover songs. Now, these are cover songs, and you get bonus points if you can name the original artist here, okay? So we got 5 songs coming up here later in the show. We're going to have our expert contributors kind of guess, the songs. So we'll see, Carol. I know your first time on the show, so we'll have some fun with that. But as the owner of Platinum MVP Realty, I always talk about a few of our listings here on the show, and I've got a hot one over in Largo. This property is 14465 Tanglewood Drive in Largo, Bay Hills subdivision, 4 bedrooms, 4 bath, over 3,500 square feet. And it's a wonderful ranch-style pool home in Largo, approximately 3,500 square feet, 2,600 heated, 4 bedrooms, 4 bath, great buying opportunity, close to the beaches in beautiful Tampa Bay. What a great buying opportunity here in our lovely Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater area. And we got to give a shout out to our restaurant partner, Brio Tuscan Grill, over at the International Plaza. Man, I tell you, I love going over to Brio and having a great meal. Excellent food, fine dining over there, white tablecloth service. At Brio Tuscan Grill at the International Plaza, you will discover an Italian menu, drinks, and a cozy atmosphere, bringing you the pleasures of a Tuscan country villa to Tampa. And we invite you to make a reservation today and let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, and you're going to get a free water with lemon every time. They're going to hook you up. You just got to mention it. So we have a little fun here on the Quarterback Show. As you know, we're Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region's #1 consumer advocate program. It's all about helping you as a consumer out there, helping you understand more about your buying decisions, helping you understand more about tax preparation, everything from real estate, finance, estate planning, tax planning. We get into health and nutrition as well. We got Dr. Mahia on the show from time to time. So we're going to help you win no matter what you're facing out there. That is our goal. We want you to make sure you save our hotline number in your phone. It's 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372.
Here's my number, so call me maybe.
And bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. You can find a lot of information at our website, consumerqb.com. You find links to all of our expert contributors. Again, 80-plus show partners there that all want to help you with any type of decision you may have. You can also submit a form. There's an email form that comes directly through, and our promise is to get back before our head hits the pillow. We're going to make sure we keep in contact with you. And we love, last week we had a lot of people reaching out. I want to thank Ian Beckles as well for filling in on the Consumer Quarterback Show. He filled in and did a great job hosting the show. Talked about the Roy Halladay plane crash and some of those things happening. Had Juan Conchero calling in, our pilot, one of our pilot partners on the show, and we tried to get Captain Will Smith. But helping you to understand more about these current events, things happening in the marketplace. So let's go ahead and jump right into this, Mario. So Mario Larrea, a longtime friend of the program here, and a mortgage expert, local mortgage expert. We talk a lot about supporting the local economy, and there's some interesting things happening in the marketplace. You look at the headline of this story is 10 years after the crash, the boom times are back in real estate, but in a different way.
Yeah, I mean it's exciting. The values are actually higher than in 2006. A national average were about 2% higher. So a lot of good things going on right now. I hear this a lot from people. The fear that there's going to be another recession or another crash, like there was 10 years ago because of the housing market rapidly appreciating.
Right.
But, we're in a completely different environment today as far as lending's concerned. And economy-wise, too. I mean, the economy this year it's the lowest level of unemployment in 17 years. Now, comboed with the lending regulations that are out there, it's completely different than what we were seeing before. I mean, I was around in the pre-crash times when Don and I were just joking about this. Yeah. I mean, basically, you could have paid nobody, had no money, and barely had a job, and you could get 100% financing.
Yeah.
So you were seeing it all the time. And today, it's not like that. I mean, it's not really difficult to get a mortgage, but there's a lot more documentation involved. And one of the big things that Dodd-Frank did is qualifying income-wise for primary residences. So before, I mean, you could just come in and basically either not even put income down in your mortgage application back in the day, or just tell us what you made. But today, these are legitimate loans going out. I mean, people have to be able to afford them. And the guidelines they're pretty strict on how we calculate income. So it's one safeguard that we have against that. Another thing too you're seeing is the median FICO level, the credit score level is up like almost 40 points, the average from the pre-crash era. So, a lot of things are going on that will prevent that crash from happening. Another thing, there aren't the subprime loans. You don't see the adjustable rate mortgages with prepayment penalties and stuff like that. So, it could slow, and I'm sure it probably will, but, the people that are afraid of this huge crash, it's just, we're in a completely different situation.
Much different. Yeah, it's a situation where, we've kind of reined it in. Now we have these actual programs that make sense. It's a make sense lending. And I tell you, I get values cut on appraisals from time to time. I just had one last week, and it just kind of upsets me because it's where, you have over-regulation, in my opinion, okay? We have, like, I had a $250,000 property, came in $9,000 short. Okay. Now, when you look at the comps, if you look at the days on the market for the comps, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. So that's telling you that properties are selling super fast. Mm-hmm. So why can we not set a new precedent? That's the reason why they're trying to rein it back.
It's true. And the whole appraisal thing that Dodd-Frank did, it's probably one of my biggest pet peeves in lending right now. But the only good part about it is it does prevent appraisers and mortgage lending from artificially inflating values, which we were seeing before. So on the flip side of that, you also see some appraisers being overly conservative, which it doesn't help us right in that transaction. But overall, you're not going to see like some of the stuff we were seeing. I knew there was a lot of stuff in South Florida where they were overvaluating homes, like just basically submitting fraudulent appraisals. So it helps that so we don't have a false market. But there are some things that it definitely needed to be, I think, somewhere in between of where it was and where it is now. But I don't know exactly how we're going to get to the perfect mix.
Yeah, it's part of it. And then you also talk about flipping. When we come back, let's talk about flipping. It says flipping is hot again, but now it's under control. So let's talk about that. We're in one of the best markets here: Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, Bradenton, Sarasota. All the way down to Fort Myers, Naples is our listening audience. And we think about what a great place to live, work, and play from a lot of different perspectives. You talk about the commercial real estate industry. You talk about industry. You talk about the ability to attract Amazons and those types of companies. A lot of the Bill Gates money, Microsoft money flowing downtown with Jeff Finnick. A lot of great things happening here in beautiful Tampa Bay. It's a great place to live, work, and play. And let's give a shout out to Signature Massage and Facial Spa. Are you looking for a place to get a massage or a facial at an affordable price, but without having to sign up for membership? Look no further. At Signature Massage and Facial Spa, they offer 1 hour Swedish massage for $49.95. Always no contracts. Come in early during the early bird hours and receive an additional $10 off. And for those muscles and knots that need extra work, ask about getting a deep tissue or sports massage. And if skincare is what you're looking for, they have amazing facial and microderm packages. Check out Signature Massage and Facial Spa, 11248 West Hillsborough Avenue, or call 925-8898, 813-925-8898 to schedule an appointment. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and you're going to get 10% off of your first service. And when we come back, more from our expert contributors. Mario Larrea in the house as well. We're Carol Harop representing Alexander Financial, and our talking story here. We've got 5 housing markets where home prices could outpace the nation in 2018 as well coming up. So stay with us. Don't touch that dial. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent, published author and professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. And we're teaching folks how to start their own radio show, grow harness the power of the media and grow their sphere of influence by utilizing the channels that we've done over the last 4.5, almost 5 years now with the Consumer Quarterback Shows. Cool stuff, too. We're partnering up with Ken Shamrock, UFC champion, WWF champion, his partner Des Woodruff, an all-star entrepreneur, Lindsay as well on this one, and it's really cool. We've got some good stuff coming up on that one, but the book is on Amazon. Check it out. And back here in studio, helping you win in any marketplace, in studio today, Mario Larrea, MI Mutual Mortgage. He's a top mortgage expert here in Tampa Bay. Carol Harop, representing Alexander Financial, enrolled agent with the IRS, helping folks understand more about the accounting and seasonally appropriate advice this time of year is very important. So she's coming up, more coming up with her. Now, I want to talk to you about 1024 Mandalay and Clearwater Beach. This is a great listing. We had an open house this past weekend, had about 8 to 10 couples come through, but it's a beautiful property. $750,000 listing of Platinum MVP Realties, 2-bedroom, 2-bath property, split bedroom floor plan, pavers all the way around the home, so you've got very low maintenance here at 1024 Mandalay on Clearwater Beach. Beautiful buying opportunity here in lovely Tampa Bay. Great place to invest, a great place to live, work, and play. So let's go ahead and jump back into this content here. So I want to talk with Carol a little bit here. So Carol, the importance of bookkeeping, through the process. And in my early career, I was one of the worst at this, and I'm getting better. But, it's one of those things where, as a business owner, as self-employed, a lot of times, your number one focus is on revenue. It's it's business, driving sales, going out and getting new deals. But that's a fatal flaw sometimes for businesses, because there's so many reasons why you want to have the bookkeeping in place.
That's right. Just because you're an expert in your own field doesn't mean that bookkeeping's your cup of tea.
Right. Right.
So it is important, though, because it can give it can give you clear records of how your business is performing, where it could be enhanced, where you could cut back on different expenses and things. So, I mean, it's possible to do it year on, each year, but if you keep going and keep your books maintained, then it's much easier to do, to see how your business is going, really.
Yeah. And then it's also important to, when we've had Jake on the show, we talk about not, just like any industry, not all mortgage professionals are created equal. Not all real estate agents are created equal. Not all accounting experts are created equal. So one thing I highly recommend especially for our self-employed folks out there that have a lot more moving parts to their books than, say, a W-2 employee would, I would recommend you reach out to Alexander Financial and you get a review done. Let's get a review done on what your previous accountant has done. Or maybe you walked into one of those places on the strip centers and you thought you had an expert there. But, you can go back a number of years and sometimes you find lost money there.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Jake's really the tax expert. He knows his onions. And I do more of the bookkeeping side of things. But yes, definitely, if you don't know where you're spending money or where your money's going, you can't. And a lot of people avoid it, and a lot of people leave it and think it'll go away. Yeah. And I have news: it won't.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
When it comes to tax season, you have to have it all up to date in order to file your taxes, and everybody has to do it over here. In England, it's not the same. Not everybody has to do it, but even employees have to do it here. So, yeah.
Really?
So it's
a little different game over there, huh?
Oh, definitely.
I didn't realize that.
No, really. Yeah. In when you're employed, your employer is responsible for filing all your taxes, and you don't have to worry about it.
Interesting.
So it's a different game over here, and it's quite an enjoyable one, actually.
Interesting. Okay, you enjoy it?
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Well,
We've got some great clients, actually, and we from all different areas of industry and everything. So it's really good fun. Yeah,
I enjoy your accent, by the way.
Oh, do you?
I do. I got to tell you, I'm looking for that setting. My fiance Lindsay had the setting where you can change, Siri, the person that tells you to turn. And
that's it. Yeah.
She changed the setting to where it has that accent. I said I'm going to do that too, but I can't figure out where the setting's at.
I like Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson, yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Having some fun with you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We want to help you win. When you think about Alexander Financial, you guys just had an awesome grand opening, kind of a reopening. You guys were already open, but you had your grand opening down there in Largo. You had an office right there in Largo. You got a great team. So let's talk to our business owners out there. What can we do to help them? Because I know a lot of folks, they're driving right now, they're listening in their vehicles, they're thinking, oh yeah, this is something I need to do, but how do we create that urgency for them? I think that's the key.
Well, knowledge is power, isn't it? And so if you've got somebody, and a lot of times nowadays we can do a lot of the work virtually, and so we don't have to stay in one place, and it helps our clients as well that they can contact us anytime.
Right.
And there's good communication going. That's what we kind of pride ourselves in, that we keep in touch with our clients and help them in any way they need it.
Right.
But yes, to keep my advice for anybody who's sort of in a bit of a pickle with their books, is just to get in touch, and we can go over it. We can look to, and a lot of times you need to focus on the future and see where you want to go with it. So
projections.
We can help with that as well, and we enjoy it. Everything to do with it, really.
Projections and goal setting. I'm glad you said that, because here we are, we're sitting here at the end of 2017 going into 2018, and this is the time of year where everybody's going to be sharpening their pencils. They're going to be talking about, how much weight they're going to lose, how much money they're going to make. They're going to be setting these goals, but it's important, I think, to have those projections, because when you have lofty goals, that's great. You're thinking big. That's awesome. The 10X rule, Grant Cardone, one of my favorites. But when you think about the actual projections, where you can take, okay, here's what I actually did last year based on actual deposits flowing into my bank account. And then you say, okay, let's project 10 to 15% movement on these numbers. Now you're going to have some really attainable goals. And once those goals are attainable, you're able to kind of back yourself into it and say, hey, if I make 5 more sales calls a day, 20 more office visits a week, whatever that is for your industry, now you got some reasonable expectations that you can possibly meet.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also see trends. So different times of year for different businesses, they're busier, say, around holiday times or summertime or whenever, but you can see that quite easily. And so you know when to push the sales and focus your busier parts. So
that's right. Yeah. The financial blueprint, the financial scoreboard, if you will, and that translates over back to Mario, because when Mario is doing a loan for someone, this is the traditional catch-22, right? They're gonna want all the income that they say they make, but they're actually not showing it on their books.
Yeah, I see that all the time. I mean, it's a double-edged sword there. You report all your income, now you're paying all these taxes, but from a mortgage standpoint, just like I was saying, we look at all that now. So if you're not claiming it, it's real hard to qualify for mortgages. So, it's definitely something you want to look at it. I heard somebody say one time, if you don't, as far as goals go, if you don't know where you're going, it's really hard to get there.
Right.
So, if you're looking for home ownership or you're looking for, financial growth in your business, you need to have a identifiable goal in order to take the steps or make those steps to get there. So, from my end, it's home ownership. If you're thinking about buying, and I say this all the time, even if it's not today, try to get pre-approved today, see where you're at, see what you need to change.
That's right.
Right now is a great time for self-employed individuals to do that, because if I go back and look at 2 years tax returns and they're, writing off more than they should or could, we can take a look at it and say, hey, look, if we, tweak this a little bit, get with your accountant, see what you can do. If there's, some less write-offs you can take, you possibly can own a home next year. So, and
it might even be something where you might want to make a drastic change. You might want to say, hey, I'm set up as an LLC, but I might be better suited as an S Corp, because then I can take in, I can pay myself a salary, $32,000, $38,000, whatever that salary might be, and then I can take advantage of that versus, and then the other money's going to pass through. Now, much further than that, I'm going to say you got to talk Jake Alexander about that.
Yeah.
But I know that there's situations where that would behoove them. So, hey, more from our expert contributors here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Mario Larrea in the house, and Carol Harop as well, Alexander Financial, and more from our expert contributors. We got our Name That Tune coming up as well. We're going to have some fun on the other side. We're going to name that tune. You ready, Carol? We're going to name that tune. We're going to have some fun.
Make it 100.
And these are all cover songs. So these are
really?
cover, cover songs or cover.
I'll try.
So we're going to have some fun there, and more from our expert contributors. The top 5 housing markets where home prices could outpace the nation. That is here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Platinum MVP Realty is our premium sponsor on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And I've got a hot listing here from Platinum MVP Realty out in East Hillsborough County, 5421 Kelly Road in Plant City. 3-bedroom, 3-bath property, over 8,100 square feet. Another listing of mine here. Just listed 12.89 acres MOL. 4-car attached garage. It's a drive-through garage. So many upgrades here on this property. Too many to list. Listed at $1.99 million. Great buying opportunity. Beautiful property listing of Platinum MVP Realty. And we're back here in studio helping you win. Mario Larrea in the house. He's a mortgage expert with MI Mutual Mortgage. Also, Carol Harop in studio. Alexander Financial. She works with Jake over there at, talking about the power of good record keeping. And let's give a shout out to Felicia Lacaille with Healthy Gourmet. She's got meal plans starting at $90 a week. Optimal fuel, optimal performance by Healthy Gourmet. Felicia Lacaille, she's the CEO and founder. And it's organic veggies, natural proteins delivered fresh 3 times a week. Healthy Gourmet, longtime friend of the program. And I love it. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they roll around. I've got a brand new delivery of these awesome meals ready to go. So I carry them with me in my vehicle if I'm going to appointments. It keeps me from pulling into those fast food stores and eating healthy. And really happy to have Felicia Lacaille on our team here, Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, so let's go back here in studio. We're going to go back to Mario Larrea. So, Mario, we also, we look at some of these other stories, these other headlines. So, it's United States lack of home building near crisis. Fannie offers help. So they're saying there's a lack of home building right now.
Yeah, that's been one of the big issues that we've been having with, the inventory or lack thereof inventory is there's not that much home building going on right now. And I know from the financing side, it's tough to get construction loans. There's not many companies out there that are doing them. So that's part of the reason you're seeing the major increase in prices and stuff like that is people are offering, and I'm sure you see this all the time, if they're not offering right at list price, a lot of times they're offering higher. So most of the time I see that happening because there's just not that many houses out there. So Fannie Mae is talking now about getting into construction loans to kind of offset that to, just to get some more housing available for a lot of people that are having a real tough time finding houses. I pre-approve people all the time, and I've seen some people it take them 8 months to actually get a contract accepted, and they're actively searching the whole 8 months. So it's going to help out a lot as far as helping people get into new homes. So it should be exciting if they do actually follow through. I mean, right now they're just kind of in talks about it, but it's definitely going to be something that'll be nice.
And that's exciting. That's interesting too when you look at it from this time of the year. I'm on the phone talking with buyers and sellers all the time, for sale by owners, expired listings all the time, and ultimately, what ends up coming out is, oh well, this time of year we're just going to take it easy. We're going to chill. We're not going to list. We're going to take a break. We've had the house on the market for 6 months, 3 months, but what you find is I actually coach my clients up on the opposite of that, because right now this is when you have the folks that are very sincere about buying. The buyers out there right now that are driving around looking at properties on the weekends, during the week, after work. These folks need to get into a home. They want to, but they need to because they could be transferring jobs. They could be relocating for getting their kids into school. There's a lot of decisions that are being made before that December deadline, before you roll to January.
Yeah, definitely. And, the other thing, too, is that the homestead exemption. I mean, you close before the end of the year. Now, you don't have that full year without the homestead exemption. So that's another real hot reason for people to purchase right now. Yeah. But you see it kind of on the buyer and seller side. But one key point, too, that people need to think about is right now rates are still low. They're going to go up. I mean, the economy's doing better. As I mentioned before, the unemployment rate has dropped. All of those are going to contribute to higher interest rates. So, people are going to be able to afford less and less house. So you may as well get your house out there and listed while you can. You're going to have a lot more potential buyers. And, for buyers, a lot of people take a break right now as far as searching. So if you've had a rough time finding a home or, getting a contract accepted, this is the time to really strike while the iron's hot, or while everybody is sleeping, or not paying attention. So it's a great time right now. A lot of people get distracted, but if you're thinking about buying or selling, it's a great time to list, a great time to be out there trying to purchase.
Yeah, it really is. It really is, Mario. Mario Larrea here in studio. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. Mario Larrea, MI Mutual Mortgage. Also, Carol Harop in studio, Alexander Financial. And the power of good record keeping is what she's talked about. And you look at year-end cleanup, a little time, an effort can save you a lot of time and money in the future. So when it comes to this time of year, folks, and you flash forward a couple months, right? It's the April deadline. People are like, oh wow, they're so frantic. They put all this extra stress on themselves.
That's right.
Rather than having the foresight to say, hey, let's do a little bit of reflection. There was a book I read, and it talked about how he kind of envisioned his desk as a stove, and he had the stove, you got the burners in the back, you got the burners in the front. At any time you might move something from the back to the front burner, and he also talked about reflective thinking. At the end of the week, at the end of the day, or even at the end of the year, it's a good time to look back and celebrate the wins, and talk about the failures, because, that's the only way to get to more success is to, to fail. You can only push the pendulum of success one way. Really, you push it towards failure, you fail, and now you're going to succeed. Mm-hmm. So when you look at that, it's a great time of the year to have that foresight. Absolutely, yes. And if everything's cleaned up and tidied up and you've got your book straight, and then moving forward, you can do it that's what we can do. We can help people just formulate a plan to how we can keep their records straight, just maintenance, in other words. And then as you go forward, it's like a running commentary of how your business is doing. If you've got it all up to date as you go along, it makes life much, much easier. But yes, definitely this time of year, you've got to think about tax season coming up and what you're going to have to produce. And the sooner you do it, the sooner you actually come and talk to us and we can help you, the sooner it's off your mind and you've got far better things to think about, holidays and people and family. It's much, much easier. So yeah, come and have a lot of times, I love Brian Tracy's one of my favorites. He talked about the Tim Strobe 90 rule. So that first 10% of action, if you've got something that you're dreading, oh man, I don't want to do that. Just take 10%, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, start the task, because it's amazing. Once you start the task, there's a Tim Strobe 90 rule that comes into play that says the first 10% of the time that you put into it, it's going to create that momentum, and then the momentum is going to make it that much easier to complete the 90%. Yeah, and it's generally not really as bad as you think. Right. So we can help in all sorts of ways. So yeah, it's best to take action, as you say. Especially these days too. I think a lot of people get caught up in the idea, well, I don't want to have to drive over there, or they let the old traditional mentality get in their way. But these days you can do screen sharing sessions, you can conference call, Skype, however you want to do it. Absolutely. Initial setup, we'll have a consultation. Initial setup. We have various levels of what do you call it? Involvement from our clients. Some like to be really on board and really involved. Yeah. Some like, just to check on it occasionally, and some just don't want anything to do with it. Yeah. Everybody's different personalities. We're fine with all of those. It's lovely. But yeah, as you say, we can easily keep in contact with people and all right. Are we ready to let's have a little fun here. Let's name that tune, you guys. This is ladies and gentlemen, name that tune. That's the intro. Name that tune. Okay, here we go. So today's songs, we've got 5 songs that are cover songs. Okay, and these are dating from. Okay, we got some recent 04. We got back to 91. We got 1968 here. So we got a wide variety. So we're gonna go ahead and here we go. No doubt. Yes, Mario. You get extra points, bonus point, if you can name the original artist. Who's the original artist? That's Gwen Stefani, right? No doubt. She was, is that her? The original artist. The original artist remake is Talk Talk, 1984. It's amazing how many songs that you hear nowadays that are remakes. Even in different genres, all across all genres. There's only so many notes. Isn't it? All right, here we go. Song number 2. Mama, take this back from me. It's a good one. Knocking on Heaven's Door. Yeah. Is that Guns N' Roses? That's the second artist. Now, who would be the original artist? I thought they were. I know. That's me too. I thought that was the original artist. I would have known that it was Bob Dylan back in 1973. Oh wow! Yeah, I didn't know that. Who originally had wrote that song? All right, here we go. Number 3. What would you do if I sang Bob Seger? Would you stand up and walk out on? Is that who it is, though? It's by with it says, my friend. It kind of sounds like him. I don't think it is. Oh. It says Joe Cocker. Oh, with a little help from my friends. The Wonder Years. And 1969, the original artist, the Beatles. Yeah. 1967. Yeah, we got some good ones. Anthony's teeing up some good ones for Liverpool. Yeah, the Liverpool. Yeah. Nice. All right, here we go. I heard he sang. Fugees. That's right. I don't know who the original was, though. I heard he had a style. That was a good one back in the day. Yeah. All right, so Killing Me Softly with his song. The original artist, Lori Lieberman. Doesn't have the year here. He left the year off. But yeah, that was a good one. All right, here we go. Final song in our Name That Tune. Santana. Yeah. Mario's on point today.
was on a losing streak before. I'm trying to redeem myself.
Totally redeemed yourself. Black Magic
Woman.
Santana, 1970. Now, the original artist? Fleetwood Mac, 1968.
Wow.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac. All right, having some fun there on the Consumer Quarterback Show. That is our Name That Tune. Have a little fun here. And so not only are you guys knowledgeable about your trades, you also are good with the music, man. You guys got it. You guys,
I'd have got there in the end.
That was great. That was awesome. All right, so helping you win in any marketplace, Mario Larrea here in studio, Carol Harop as well, representing Alexander Financial. And when we come back, we're going to finalize our show with our 5 housing markets where home prices could outpace the nation. And we're also going to talk about our feel-good story, and we have our lightning round. Top tips, things to do, nuggets of advice, and parting words of wisdom from our expert contributors here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay. Save our hotline number in your phone at some point. You're going to need it, 813-670-7372, 813-670-7372, helping you win in any marketplace. Let's give a shout out to Two Maids and a Mop. Our official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Two Maids and a Mop, and they are the official cleaning partner. Excellent service. A clean house helps you feel better, helps you get through your day. You come home, you have an awesome clean house, freshly cleaned house. And what I love about them is they're very charitable. They have a unique program where they offer free home cleaning to cancer patients. So anyone battling cancer, Two Maids and a Mop is going to help you with that. And your approval sets the rate of payment as well. So Two Maids and a Mop, as well as Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. That's the official hotel partner here of the Consumer Quarterback Show. I recommend all my clients that fly in, international clients coming into the airport, check out Kipton's Hotel Zamora on St. Pete Beach. It's a whitewashed Mediterranean palace. Expansive luxury suites overlooking the intercoastal waterway as well as the Gulf of Mexico. You got rooftop yoga on the weekends. Great place to go visit on the weekends. Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, and they're going to get 20% off of your room stay just by mentioning the REQB code, the real estate quarterback code, with our friends over at Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. All right, we're back here in studio helping you win in any marketplace. Mario Larrea representing MI Mutual Mortgage, local lender, support your local economy. He's right here in Tampa Bay. We also have Carol Harop as well representing Alexander Financial, and talk about the power of good record keeping, setting those goals for this year, and kind of getting ahead of the tax planning season. So we're back here. We want to help you win. So Mario, what else would you say, this time of year, something seasonally appropriate for people to do? I mean, we're kind of winding down, I love what you said about the homestead exemption. That's a big point, this time of year. If you're getting into a home, do it before the end of the year. We also talk a lot about, investing in real estate, great time to, get a duplex, a triplex, a quad under contract. There's ways that we can, set them up on searches so they can see things right when they come up on the market, because it is a fluid environment.
Yeah, and I think you and I had this was a few weeks back, and I had brought up, they were saying Tampa's like number 15 in the nation for best markets to invest in.
Right.
So, it's a great time. And, we're always telling the renters, it's time to buy, because renting is like 30% higher. But I mean, if you're 30% higher rent as versus purchasing a home. But on the flip side of that, it's a great time for investors to purchase, because you can charge 30% more than what a mortgage would be on rent too.
That's
so,
right.
And in Tampa, the nice thing about Tampa is, we're in Florida. Florida is like the number one state for relocation anywhere in the nation right now. So, Tampa's a hot spot. There's a lot of industry here. The prices aren't ridiculous like, some of the other markets in Florida. And you have the nice beaches, you have water all over the place. So, it's a great place to invest.
It really is. You look at the top market, one of the top markets consistently, all the different studies, statistics showing Tampa Bay, Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, the revitalization of downtown by Jeff Fennick and his partners with, Bill Gates and the different companies that are involved there. It's just going to be just a strong area to be in. We're attracting millennials as well. I've had all the local mayors on the show, Buckhorn, Kreisman, Creticus, and they all talk about how they work together to bring in that young talent, because we want to have that base of young engineers, young medical professionals, all the folks that are going to take to make a nice economy that's going to flow together. And so there's a lot of reasons why Tampa's where it's at, and of course, the professional sports and offshore fishing, all the cool things that we can do here. But yeah, one thing too is a kind of I saw come up as I logged into the multiple listing service this morning, is it says, Congress is on a fast track to approve tax reform legislation by the end of the year. Both the House and the Senate versions contain language that will surely impact not only home ownership, but also real estate industry. So the National Association of Realtors considers this the most important issue facing us today. So they're asking us to please join in efforts and be heard and advocate for our profession, the real estate profession, the homeowners today and in the future that we serve. So the National Association of Realtors has launched a all hands on deck campaign to save the promise of home ownership, protect its 1.3 million members involved in real estate, residential and commercial real estate. So they check it out, call your congressman, because there's a lot of things that are in this tax plan that you might not know about. You look at, they're going to be potentially eliminating some of the tax deductions with this new plan. And there's, the one that I heard the other day that really just pissed me off. We talk about how the teachers, they're already not making the great salaries that they deserve, but they're also saying they're going to be limiting now, whenever they buy supplies out of their pockets, they're going to be limiting the write-off above $250. So just, can't we find money somewhere else than picking on our teachers or eliminating residential? You look at a residential home purchase, not to go on too much of a bunny trail here, but how much does that help our economy when somebody buys a home?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've read someplace, and I mean, you see it. They say there's like 17 to 20 individuals involved in every real estate transaction. So I mean, it's huge.
That's right.
And then the other thing too, obviously, you pushing that to have people look at the reform, it's going to help you, it's going to help me, but realistically, it's going to help everybody. I mean, everybody I would assume ultimately wants to own their own home. I mean, I wouldn't think it would be somebody's goal just to rent forever.
Right.
So, it's going to impact and help everybody here. I mean, every consumer, every citizen, if you can, purchase a home or get the benefits that we have of it. So, definitely worth something, for people to look into.
Call your congressman and let them know about it, because it's, when you affect the real estate industry, it's going to affect a lot of people. And they're talking about eliminating the tax incentives tied to mortgage interest, I believe is what specifically it is.
I keep hearing that.
So hopefully they don't. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But let's go ahead and jump into our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
Top tips, things to do, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Mario Larrea, you're up first.
If you're, I say this a lot, but this time of the year, if you have thought about purchasing or you're thinking about selling, get on it. It's a great time because a lot of people get distracted and there's still a ton of buyers out there. So, or the other part too, if you're looking to purchase in the near future, contact me. I'll take a look at your situation. There may be some things we need to tweak to get you the best financing available. And if you're not looking to do something within a few months, you'll have the time to go ahead and, fix things to where once it comes around, you're going to qualify for the best product available, best mortgage available.
That's right. And we can also get you in touch with William Crowley, a.k.a. the Credit Magician. He's going to help you clean up your credit if you have that. And that's an issue that I think more and more people are seeing is the identity theft. So we're going to help you with that. If you've been, stricken by some form of identity theft, we're going to get you with our credit experts, our mortgage experts here that can help you with that.
Yeah, I send people over to William all the time because you get it a lot. Like I'll go and read off people's credit report and they get mad at me because stuff on there is, I'm like, hey, I'm not the credit bureau.
Don't kill the messenger.
Yeah,
right?
I'm just telling you what's on there. Like, give this guy a call. I mean, there's not much I can do about it. So,
yep.
It's always good to know what's on there.
Parting words of wisdom from Carol Harop, Alexander Financial.
My words of wisdom are, give us your accounts to deal with. It gives you more time. It can make you more money. And it frees your mind so that you can think about making your next million.
Nice. I like it. That's right. Make your next million. Set them up the future. Yeah. All right. Hey, I want to thank our expert contributors, Mario Larrea, Carol Harop, for coming in today. I want to thank all of our listeners, our viewers out there. Engage us on social media, at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Twitter, at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram. The Consumer Quarterback Show as well has pages on Facebook at Brandon Rhymes PA. And we would love to follow you back and find out what you're interested in. We want you to also please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Something as simple as packing up leftover food you may have, carrying it with you to and from your commute to work, and handing it to that person that you see in need on the side of the road. Also, this is a great time to go through your closet, clean out any clothing that you may have that you're not wearing it, donate it to that church. It's getting cooler out there, so I'm sure there's people that could use some of the clothing that you're not using. So be a force for good. Go out there and help someone. Be kind to one another, and continue to tune into our show, the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.